Let's talk some toys in here.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today it's the Man-Child. Alright, so today for review, we're going to take a look at the Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, New Eternia PANTHOR. So yeah, this New Eternia PANTHOR came out in Mattel Creations months ago already, a couple months back. I didn't pick them up at first, I don't know, I just felt it was expensive, to get a repaint Masterverse Battle Cat, which, to be fair, I'm surprised I didn't do that sooner. However, you do get a newer armor and some accessories from what I've seen looking in the box. But beside that, I did go on eBay when I had the money, and I was like, oh, maybe there's one now floating around for an extra 20 bucks or so. Nope, over double the cost. I went back to Mattel Creations, and he was still in stock. I picked him up, he shipped, and here he is. So here's a look at the art in front of the box. Got Panther, obviously, looking pretty cool. Got the big moon in the background. And over to the side, it almost looks like that snake layer or something that the MOTU Origins line's still working on. Maybe it's an early concept Snake Mountain. And then here's a look at the art in back of the box, so we can see the classic style Skeletor commanding Panther to attack the Masterverse Mechanic, which we already have out. Then here's the art on top of the box, so you just kind of see a jungle background with planets. You can see a Skeleton warrior riding, looks like some type of dragon or pterodactyl. So moving on to opening up the box, there's also some more art on the very bottom. Got a giant dragonfly with Mechanic once again with the neck extended up. Looks like they're in pre-Eternia or something like that. Alright, so let's open the box up and check that out. You got a big sketch piece of art of Panther on the way back of the box. It just says Masters of the Universe New Eternia. And you get this, wow, backdrop as well. Okay, and here's a little closer look at that piece of art or diorama. That's incredible. So you have Skeletor obviously on Panther in the background. There's that little snake tower again. Woods, it's a combination of everything on different parts of the box. All right, there's the moon up there with the rider. This is very glossy, the way it's designed. So obviously you got lights in certain positions. It just bounces back at you. You fold it up, and if you spin it around, wow, look at that. That's incredible. There you go. There's Snake Mountain. Holy cow, look at that. In the woods, you get these demons back here, some kind of monsters. And here's a quick look around a New Eternia Panther out of package and those accessories. Wow, the colors and design of this Panther are really cool. Taking a closer look at this head sculpt for this New Eternia Panther. Yeah, it looks awesome. What's interesting, though, it's a whole different head. It's not the same head as the Revelation Masterverse Battle Cat. I thought it was. Would make sense. So pretty much what they did with the classics, the vintage, the origins, but it's a whole new head from what I can see. And I'll bring the Battle Cat in soon to compare them. That's really cool. I didn't expect that. I love the colors too. That type of purple he went with. It's like a deep purple, a glossy deep purple with almost metallic or something in it. Along the body, and even has some dry brushing or like black highlights wash. You can see around the arm, the legs, the face. So now the other interesting thing too is that look at the eyes. They're actually glass lenses. Wow. That is awesome. The ears are pointed back, folded back. They're longer than a regular Battle Cat. Yeah, different nose, everything. Articulated jaw, of course, and look at those fangs. Not only that, the upper part of the whole jaw piece, the fangs, gums go up and down. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. It's just my figure, but they can retract up and come down. The two larger fangs on the top, it's all soft rubber, painted really well. Even a tongue inside, look at that. It looks almost like it can move, but it's just all part of sculpt. You have the lower fangs that they're also soft rubber. And we talked about the mouth can articulate, so it looks like all the way up, closed. And then this is as far as you can open it. Really wide. That's incredible. Look at the other side. Excellent head sculpt. As far as the articulation inside the mouth with this head sculpt and Panther, so of course you can spin all the way like this. You can look up, go down, rock all around and around. What else? So we've seen the jaw of that. Then the neck piece too. You can see the neck transition to the body. That can go all the way up, all the way down. Somewhat go left to right. Can you spin it? A little bit. It's more up and down. Yeah, that's just so cool, that head sculpt. Wow. Look at the bottom. So, moving on to the legs. It's a heavy figure. So, obviously, it's the same. It looks like the same legs as the Revelation Battle Cat. Side purple, what I already pointed out. And then he has like these gauntlets that's on the lower part of the leg. That's pretty cool. The colors on this too. The upper saddle and the gauntlets, and then of course this mask, which we'll get into soon. Yeah, really good choice. Metallic. It's like silver with a metallic jade type of metallic green oversprayed, and yeah, the main spike itself is silver. It's just like weathered, I guess. Battle damage. I won't say weathered. Yeah, really good choice for this. Cool. A lot of details on this thing. Trying to like look it over as I'm doing my thing here. But all right, back to the legs. So as far as the front legs with these little bracer pieces, gauntlets, the articulation go all the way forward, back that far, and it hits the body. You can go out somewhat, not that far, and as far as going to go back to the body. You can bend up at the little elbow, his elbow piece. Now mine's really stuck. You can twist, but it's got to go in. Nope. All right. To the back there. There we go. All right. So it can bend like that and straighten. When you straighten it out, this is as far as it's going to straighten. Yeah, mine's really tight. And of course, we already talked about this piece. Now we can remove it, which I'll do in a little while. We can spin all around, but it's supposed to go like this with the spikes facing forward. And then dropping down to the paws, he has 4 large nails painted black, obviously. As far as articulation with the main paw or foot, you go up and down, rock all around. And again, it's the same paw as the Revelation Battle Cat. Now, I'm going to jump back and forth here. It's going to be one of those videos. Let me bring in a Revelation Battle Cat now with the armor removed. So, just want to show, compare the heads, right? Yeah, totally different. I mean, sort of, a little bit reminiscent, but much different. This Battle Cat reminded me, like, they were trying to go for something between Battle Cat with the armor on and a large, oversized Cringer. A little bit in the face, until you get down to the lower mouth, he looks more serious. But I think that's what they were trying to do. This Panther is just serious. But yeah, totally different. The eyes are just plastic and painted on this. You can see the mouth articulation. I mean, still good. This figure came out a long time ago. But everything else, as far as the body, it looks like to me, of course, the colors is the same. We'll get back into that later. Anyway, so I just wanted to bring that in for show that. All right, so we already go back to the other leg. All right, as far as articulation, forward, back. Let's test this out. Oh, these are really tight. Okay, I'm just going to leave that alone for now. But I'm going to have to heat this up. There you go. Okay, you can bend, go all the way forward like that. Down. Has the same type of bracer. It's identical to this one. Same thing with the paw as far as articulation, right? Go up. Damn, mine's backwards, it looks like. You'll see the joint. All right, there you go. So these spin too. Wait a minute. Oh, there you go. Sorry, the legs are the wrong way. Okay, it goes up, down, can, rock all around. And here's a look at the bottom. If you're not familiar, you can get a better look at the joints inside the legs. How all the fur is sculpted along the bottom. Really good job. Now, he also has, let me see. Okay, articulation here, just like Battle Cat. So you can, the upper part of the, forward part of the body, you can spin all around and kind of go up and down. And then he has also cut in the very back. Same thing. You can go, up and down, twist that all around. And then moving on to the back of the legs. So yeah, it looks like your typical cat legs. Again, just like, yep, same exact ones as Battle Cat, so the color. As far as articulation, go all the way forward, back. Can you just go out? Yeah, okay, you can go out like that and go in. It's been a while since I reviewed the Battle Cat, I don't remember. But then you got the knee piece, the lower part of the leg, right? You spin all around, go back. Just as far as you're going to go forward, it has a double hinge thing, type of leg animals would have, cats. Same thing, and that joint can go forward, back, can spin all around. Everything can spin and move. A lot of excellent articulation with this figure. And then here's a look at the lower paw in the back, and same thing. You can just spin this in the right direction. There you go. Go all the way up, down, rock side to side. And then spinning the other leg around. Let's check that out. Same thing, out, forward, back. Right, bend all the way in, forward. Same thing with this leg, down, forward. Make sure it's in the right position so you can see the joint in the front and the foot. Go up, down, rock side to side. And then here's a look at the tail. And the tail can go all the way down. So it has a hinge joint all the way up. And you can spin it all around. It should be up like this. Or you can spin it down. Okay, taking a little better look at the saddle. Again, the colors are amazing. All silver with the jade metallic green overspray. Look at the detail on that. It's just large spikes. You have a large spike coming out of the very front of it with Skeletor, like skull face and fangs. Extra spikes here. It's real soft rubber, by the way. Even the main seats, like stone, something like Snake Mountain floor, reminds me of, or Castle Grayskull walls. The larger part of the saddle, got skull on that. Right in the back, you got like a a vertebrae going all the way down. You have like a bat symbol on each side, right? And then what's cool with this is he has stirrups for the foot stirrups, where the Battle Cat didn't have that. I like that. If you ever try, and real, when I was in my 20s, I rode a horse, went on horseback riding, and it was one of the most miserable experiences of my life. Wasn't used to it, and I tried to put my feet in and out of the saddles because it just got uncomfortable after a while. But believe me, without them, having your feet in these, your hips, the next day I could barely move out of bed. That's how bad it was. So I always picture my figures when they ride something having stirrups for the foot. Anyway, you notice too, you have these little, this is a weapon holder. So again, you have a skull here with this weapon holder piece and a ring. Now it's going to be for this, you get this weapon, which is pretty cool. I'll show you that in a little bit. That's what that's for. And you have one on the other side. Here's the other stirrup. And these can move back and forth and come out as well, like plugged in. And you can see on the back, the very bottom, how it straps around the main body. Moving forward, taking a look at Panthor's accessories. Of course, he comes with a classic style battle helmet. Something similar. The Classics was a little different, which I'll bring in and compare later. But that looks awesome as well. It's colors, but look at the large, like, fangs, jaw pieces that come out. Pretty flexible for the most part. You have the larger horns up top. And looks like, these pieces are going to snap, or the ears are going to go underneath these or over these or something like that. And then here's a closer look at that harpoon or spear weapon. Pretty cool detail. Again, you have like Skeletor skull up top. Here's a look at the handle. Once again, taking a look at Panthor. Of course, let's put the battle helmet on. And let's see. That's it. So yeah, it pushes forward. These two pieces go over the ears, I thought. And then you just got to adjust it like that. And the main nose, the nose armor will just sit on top of the nose like so. And as far as articulation, does it change anything? No, that's pretty much it. It's just still articulation works really well with the helmet on. Let's look at the mouth open or closed. And as far as just going back to the spear piece, or the spear, excuse me, you just move the stirrup out of the way, looks like, and you put the handle through the ring, like so, I think. And you got to stretch it out a little bit. And then you put the main spear, in the holder like that. And that's how it would hold the weapon. And it has, you can do it on the left or right side. And once again, here's a quick look around with Panthor all set up, with at least the spear on the left side, and of course the battle helmet on. Okay, with Panthor all set up, of course the most important thing is let's try some Skeletor figures on him. Now, the thing with the saddle is, I feel like it's going to have the same problem, very similar to the Masterverse Battle Cat. I mean, again, it's an awesome design, but the figures just sit weird on them. At least that's how it was for Battle Cat. So I'm going to bring in the Classics Battle Armor Skeletor to start. Right, let's start off with some Classics. Spread the legs out a little bit and sit him on a saddle. And see how now to see the Classic sits in there pretty good. Just the round design on it. Side the legs look a little goofy. Twist them that way and see if they fit into the stirrups. And there's a quick look at that setup. So of course we have the Classics Battle Armor Skeletor on the Masterverse Panthor. Now, for the most part, depending on how you want to position the legs, you can get the figure to sit pretty close to the, down on the saddle, looking somewhat natural, but the legs don't. They like kick out and they look wonky. So if you want to adjust them with these stirrups and the feet and bend them in like so, that looks better. But now see, he sits off the main saddle, so it doesn't look good using these. You don't have to. It's cooler there. How about if I do this? Position the feet in, because this is somewhat how you would ride a horse. Your feet are pretty close to the insides. Not great. But for the most part, the Classics figure does fit well and look good on this Masterverse Panthor and the overall design of the saddle. Next up, here's a look with the new Eternia Battle Armor Skeletor sitting on a Masterverse Panthor. And overall, I gotta say, he sits really well on the saddle. With the legs in the stirrups, for the most part, depending how you want to position them. Put them back or, forward. But, let me see. He sits off a little bit, but overall, I'm happy with it. Looks really good. And here's a look at the new Eternia Skeletor that came off the Bone Throne I have the Akala head on and snake staff in hand. And again, he sits really well. Sits off a little bit, but for the most part, because of the design of his armor and this piece you have to push forward, it just, yeah, works really good. Quick look at that setup. His cape. Of course, the feet, the feet are in the stirrups. And then for one last setup, I put the 40th anniversary Skeletor and the Masterverse Panthor. Let's quick look at that. Again, fits really well. Have his Havoc staff in hand. Also, you can see I put that weapon that came off the side in the other hand, that spear. I don't have the vintage collection Skeletor because the 40th kind of reminds me of something similar to him. So I think that the vintage has a different, newer style chest. This figure has a larger chest, but for the most part, the legs are same. I think the arms and whatnot. And yeah, it looks really cool. Works well on the saddle and the overall design. Once again, moving forward, taking a look at some comparisons. So obviously I put all the armor back on the Revelation Battle Cat. And I put the Revelation Battle Armor He-Man with the cross armor on Battle Cat. I just left the 40th anniversary Skeletor and Panther for now. So here's a quick look at these two, at least the fronts of both cats side by side. Now, Battle Cat, as far as the mask goes, has painted eyes on the mask if you're not familiar. And of course, this mask has cutouts to see those lens eyes. It's pretty cool. Now, moving this Panther out of the way for a second, if you see He-Man, how he sits on the saddle, the Masterverse one anyway. See how far he sits off? No matter what you do, you really can't get him to sit down all the way unless you spread the legs out like that. And that doesn't work. So you can bend him in, right, to make it look more natural. And it just sits off. And you think it would sit better because this does have a good cut in it. And it is, it has like more of a narrow point that comes up to where the Panther one is more rounded. I thought that would work, be a worse fit than this one. It's not. It actually fits the figures better. I don't understand that with this Battle Cat. But something with the cut and how it just goes out so wide, it just doesn't work well. And then, of course, Battle Cat doesn't have, a pair of stirrups like Panther does, where they connect here. I always want to make something for that. Just a quick look at that. And then even with the classics, let me put a Classics He-Man in there. How's he fit? Yeah, a little better, but still the same problem. He just sits really high off the seat. Let's just spread the, let me see, legs. Nope, and then the muscles in the legs hit the armor. But anyway, so let's put this He-Man back on. I think this is a Masterverse Cat. And then here's somewhat of a side-by-side look, the best I can get him in frame. I mean, yeah, it's not really helping much. But if you bring this Battle Cat and your Panther, same size, because again, it's the same cat, side, the head, colors, and the armor. And then let me spin Panther this way and see what they look like head-to-head. Then here's a better look at a head-to-head battle between Battle Cat and Panther. I removed some of the figures in the background because they're distracting. So just give you an idea to scale with these two, pretty much fighting, going head-to-head. Okay, and then I brought in the Classics Battle Cat with Classics He-Man in a head-to-head battle against the Classics Panthors. Quick look at those two together for scale and size. Then here's a quick look at both cats side by side or facing forward. Okay, and then real quick, I also want to bring in the Origins Battle Cat against the Masterverse Panther. Again, for size and scale, these two looking forward for people like the Origins, because the Origins Battle Cat is pretty big. Almost a little bigger, not close to size and scale of the Classics. Then, of course, there's a quick head-to-head battle of those two together. Okay, moving on, taking a look at some more Panther comparisons. So, of course, we have our Masterverse Panther against the Classics Panther with Battle Armored Skeletor on it. Both those cats facing forward. Quick look at those two together. You just see the overall height and scale. Then here's a quick head-to-head look between the two. Then here's another somewhat side-by-side comparison between the two. Best I can get them. Or if you turn this way, you can see the scale of the Classics over the Masterverse Panther in the foreground, background. Okay, and then for one last comparison, I brought in the Origins Flock Panther against our Masterverse Panther, head-to-head or facing forward. Let's quick look at those two together. And once again, another head-to-head look between the two different cats. Once again, I brought in the Classics Panther against the Masterverse Panther. I removed both Skeletor figures off the saddles, obviously. So the next thing I wanted to try is see if any of these armor pieces can mix between the two. I mean, this Panther is really wide compared to the Classics, but yet I have a feeling some of the parts might work. So as far as the Masterverse Panther, right, we know the helmet pops off like so. Going back to these gauntlets, let's see, I think there you go, all right? So that's how you pop them off. They have two little pegs. Do the same with the other side, off camera, save time. And then to break the harness, I'm going to pop it there. You can see the other buckle. All right, pull it off the body like that, very easy. And let me get this last gauntlet off. All right, we'll do it now. All right, there you go. So there's a better look at Masterverse Panthor without the armor pieces on. Wow, look at he has spots too all over him. Black, like, yeah, painting spots. Pretty cool. I didn't realize that. I seen the wash in my lights earlier, the overspray, like pointed out on the legs, but yeah, he has a whole different pattern up top and the body going all the way up to the top, the neck and head. And then as far as the Classics Panthor, let's see. Okay, helmet pops right off, and then you can see okay, so the saddle has a plug, pops up like that, falls off the body. And there's a little better look at Classics Panthor. What's that? Kind of glue or something. The overall design, if you're not familiar, mine's really sloppy. That was a problem with these cats, like in the joint side, the main body. But you can see the overall articulation, the head, the mouth does articulate with the Classics. That's a beautiful head sculpt. All right, legs go back and forth. You have articulation like this, up in the elbow. Right, the paw can articulate. Back, you can see all the joints, and yeah, these have pins in the back and like that. Tail, is tail articulating this? Yep, tail goes, okay, up and down, swings all around. Head, neck. There's a look at the bottom. All right, and here's a quick look with all the Masterverse armor on the Classics Battle Cat. For the most part, it fits pretty well. The gauntlets, I did have to fight with a little bit. I had to stretch them or overstretch them to get on the lower legs because he has sculpted fur that sticks outward on the back of it. The helmet just drops right on. Looks pretty cool. Now, see my Panther, just the neck joints, everything's a mess in this cat. But it just sits on the head. And the straps on the main saddle have more than enough room to go all the way around and snap. Now, you do got to adjust a little bit because it's like sloppy. See, the helmet just falls right off. So it's just sitting there like that. How about that? Yeah, it works. You just got to mess around with it. But overall, pretty cool. Of course, there's a look at the Masterverse Panthor with all the Classics parts on. So for the most part, they do fit. I mean, the saddle can drop over. The helmet fits pretty good. Clips over the ears, somewhat down the face, if you notice that. It does stand off the head a little bit. But the armor, it can sit, no problem, over the cat. So the overall design does fit the sculpt. But the, buckle strap, not even close. Can't clip to that. I mean, if you want to custom make something, you had like a black strap, snap something here and make a hole and put it through the buckle, if you want to really use this armor. But yeah, it doesn't go around all the way. And the other interesting thing too is that the colors of this Masterverse Panther armor pieces, like the helmet, the saddle, is very close to the Classics. I mean, so it just has some different shades of color on the main saddle itself, but just certain colors stand out, especially the horns on the helmet, very close to what the Masterverse did. So once again, I put the Masterverse parts back on the Masterverse Panthor, right? We have the saddle and the gauntlets. I also added the Battle Armored Skeletor. And the only thing I did different now is just put the Classics helmet on the head, because that's the only part that really fits well. Let's quick look at that setup. It's pretty cool, again, because of the colors of these ram horns in conjunction with the colors of the saddle and the gauntlets. Works pretty cool. And it's just interesting how well it snaps over the ears and, seems to hold on the head aside. The plate sticks up a little bit over the face. Then, for a little bonus, and lastly, I wanted to see if the armor pieces could upgrade or fit the Origins Flock Panthor. And they fit pretty good. The saddle does come up pretty far to the back of the ears, but that's not bad. The straps go around good. Even the little gauntlets fit the wrists, the lower legs perfect. Even the Origins Skeletor. I wasn't going to try that at first. He sits on the saddle pretty good. Now you got to push him down a little bit, but look at that. All right, bounces forward. You can't really get his legs in the stirrups. You somewhat can if you want to bend them, mess around with it. And then the helmet, let's see, falling forward. That's something easy you can play with. Just sits there, but enough to where you can kind of see the eyes. Yeah, you can reinforce it somehow, or I don't know. The main plates that would go over the ears of the Masterverse or the Classics just sit on top of the armor, but it looks cool. And it does work well on the Origins. And then, I wonder if the Classics one would work. I never tried this. How does that look? Again, just sits there. Can't really go over the ears because it's a different design, but a little work. If you want to sit it there. It would look like that in conjunction with the Masterverse armor. That's pretty cool. Fun to mess around with the Origins cat as well. So that about does it, and that's my overall review on the Masterverse New Eternia PANTHOR. I'm really happy I picked him up. I was apprehensive on it at first because I was like, I'm getting another battle, Revelation Battle Cat, purple. I mean, do I really need that? Because I have the Classics Panther, but he's totally different over the Classics Panther. Classics Panther is pretty cool, but has a lot of QC issues in the joints and kind of his own thing. They did a really good job on this Masterverse Panther. Of course, you have a different head. It's unique over the regular Revelation Battle Cat. I was surprised at that. The articulation, teeth. Did a good job on the purple colors, the overall tone on the whole body. And I love the armor. The headmask, the main saddle, you get the little gauntlets. And it's cool that it can fit on the Classics for the most part, and even the Origins. And your Skeletor figures, too, fit really well on the saddles. And you get the little stirrups, which is just a little fun bonus. Yeah, I really like the way he come out, and I'm glad I picked him up. So as always, I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, take care.